So I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts on, oh, there it is, on how to get going, especially if you're brand new. You're like brand new. And like I said on our email blast, what I talked about was how you could multiply your results on the efforts you're putting in this business. All right. So really, this talk is about really the power of our system and how the system can help you build this business, help build yourself, and get the results you're looking for, and to multiply those results. It's pretty amazing. So we have this book called The 8 Steps to Success, written by my buddy Andy Albright. I think this is a previous edition, but it's still awesome. And in it, he talks about the 8 things that you need to do in order to be successful with us. Okay, and he spells it out in just great, with great analogies and stories and things in his own life. I just love this book. This is a book worth reading multiple times. And if you just joined us, you need to get through this. It takes only about 2-3 hours to get through it, but it's all powerful and impactful. So the 8 things are, number 1, being your own best customer. Okay, and I'm not going to talk so much in detail, but number 1 is really, I think, most important thing when you get started with us, is that's buying a policy on yourself, okay, or on your family, or, you know, and one of the reasons is to help you figure out how to write an application. And then when you submit it, watching the underwriting process work. And then when you get a check deposited in your account, knowing that it works. And I think Mutual of Omaha policies are the only ones that will pay an agent an advance on themselves and their families. Okay. All the other ones will pay you as earned. But nonetheless, I don't care what policy, you know, a good cook eats their own cooking. Right? So if you just write an accident policy, if you have a health license, accident policy on yourself or something, that's the first thing I did. Was as soon as I got my license, I wrote a mortgage protection policy on myself with return of premium and disability. I still have it. And it was like my belief. I needed to believe, and I believed when I had my own policy. I kept it in my briefcase when I would go out and run appointments, because I knew that if anyone ever asked me what I had and what I had for my family, I could pull my policy out and show it to them, right? So the be your own best customer, that's the first one. The second one is work, having a good work ethic. The third one is listening. The fourth one is reading, getting on a book reading program. The fifth one is attend all meetings. The sixth one is being teachable. The seventh one is being accountable. And the eighth one is communicating with a positive mental attitude. Those are the 8 steps that Andy Albright talks about in this book, and he defines each one very well. All right. So what are the 4 things I mentioned? 4 things that you can multiply your business with. And these 4 things are numbers 3 through 6. Being a good listener. Number 4 is reading. Number 5 is attend all meetings. Number 6 is being teachable. Those are the 4 things that will accelerate your results, because these 4 things are based on being the best you can be, to improving you, to getting your mind right, getting your attitude right, getting your faith right, getting your expectation right, getting all those things right about you, so that you can go out and everything that you touch will turn to gold. And the better you are, the better you will be in results, the better results you're going to get, and the better people you're going to attract towards you, okay? Because you don't necessarily attract what you want, you attract who you are, all right? And these are the who you are things. These are things that will enhance who you are, and these are one of the most important aspects of our system that will multiply your results. And I just threw out a number, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. You know, really, it's priceless, the multiplication factor that kicks in. I'll talk about it in a little bit. So what do I mean, number 1, by being a good listener?
Hey, Alex.
Yeah, all right. So what do we mean by being a good listener? Well, number 1, it's really the attitude. It's really kind of an attitude of listening. And it's not a yes but, Alex. You know, when I say something, it's not yes but yes but. It's not having the but attitude. Okay, you know, it is. It's an attitude of submitting your ego to someone who knows more than you, someone who's trying to help you, someone who's got a vested financial interest in your success. So that's part of the listening thing. Okay, and I mean, you should ask questions to understand, listening to understand, asking questions to learn so you can understand, but asking questions just to be contrary or just to, you know, it's just not a good thing for you, right? And then for me as an upline, for your upline, it's like, golly, I don't know if I want to work with this person as a lot. Okay, we're all going to help you, but you have to have an attitude of submitting your ego to someone who knows more than you and someone who wants to help you. So it's more, listening is more of an attitude. The other aspect of listening is listening instead of to ESPN radio, right, or Oprah on the radio or whatever, that you're listening to MP3s and CDs that you can stick in your car. So like when you're going to appointments, you get fired up because you hear Bill Cook teaching you how to close, and Debbie Ben, and how to make appointments by who was the last one? Oh yeah, Debbie Ben did one on booking appointments. I mean, there's a ton of good stuff out there that you could be listening to, you know, but not listen to music, but substituting for stuff that will be financially profitable for you. I'm not saying never listen to music, but I think there's times when you should listen to the good stuff, right, and not the bad stuff, right, or the stuff that is depressing. Like, do not listen to news radio. Oh my gosh, all that's on the news are depressing, negative things. You know what I mean? And you just do not have only but so much capacity to handle negative on a daily basis. You know, I talked about this before, that you only have so much in your negative tank. Okay, you have certain fuel to handle negative, and every time you you run into negative, your fuel tank starts going towards E. And then once you hit E, man, it's all over. You cannot just handle anymore, and then you shut down, right? You know what that's like. And so you got to protect your mindset and your attitude from negative crap going on. All right, so listening to good stuff. All right. So we've got a lot of MP3s, we've got audios. You can burn a lot of these things on a CD to stick in your car. A lot of these new cars nowadays have an auxiliary, so you can buy one of those little mini plugs, stereo mini plugs that go into from your iPhone or your smartphone into your car, where you can stick it in the auxiliary in, and then you can just listen on a playlist or whatever. You know, so I'm really big on the listening and hearing things, because you do what you think about the most. So when you listen to this, any, you know, alliance tapes and MP3s and sales stuff and positive motivating types of messages, you will do more because you're thinking about it more. Okay, so that's the biggest thing on listening. The next one is reading, right? Now reading is the probably the most important way, to grow, because reading involves your sight, it involves your feelings, it spurs your imagination. It's an active form of learning, and so reading is a powerful thing that we do, and we really want our agents to get into a daily reading habit, usually at night before you go to bed, because the stuff you take in at night, your subconscious has a chance in the evening to regurgitate it and to kind of internalize it. So when you wake up in the morning, you really kind of think about what you read the night before, and that's your subconscious working on it, because your subconscious doesn't go to sleep. Your conscious mind goes to sleep, but your subconscious does not, and it just chews on that stuff and it internalizes the stuff that you're reading. Now, the first two books on your book reading list ought to be these two, the one I mentioned before, Andy's 8 Steps to Success, and then the next one is the Millionaire Maker Manual. Okay, these are two books, must-read list, must read, okay? And then within the 8 Steps to Success book, on page 84, I think, page 84, there's actually a list of books that you should read first. Okay, get fired up. First books to read. There's a list of first books to read. And so your journey is going through all the books, because you'll never get to where I'm at unless you read the books I've read. Because I'm here today because of the books I've read and the people I've hung around, the people I've listened to in my life, okay, the people I associate with. And so your power of the system is giving you the power to associate with people that are better than you, people that make more money than you. Because when you change your association to be around people that are better in all aspects of their lives, it will only help you become better by that power of association. And so this is really what we're talking about. These four things are association steps to get you around the right ways of thinking. Okay, and and really, when you start thinking like wealthy people think, okay, and wealth not only in just money, but wealth in their relationships, wealth in their spiritual life, you will have that same wealth too, because you change your thought process. Just little tweaks in the thought process, little 1% changes, 1% changes that compound every day becomes huge changes over the rest of your life. Okay, it's like the penny doubled every day concept. You know, if I gave you $1 million, if I gave you a choice, give you $1 million right now or a penny doubled for 30 days, which would you choose? Well, you would want the penny doubled for 30 days, because that'll make you $10 million. Okay, so the compounding effect of reading is huge. So reading rocks. You need to read and get into the habit. Even if you're just so tired, if you just read one paragraph, okay, the habit and the yearning for doing it, you're going to satisfy that and keep that habit going. So, all right, and here's some of my favorite books. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book is a standard for success training, success thinking. This one's the book that got me started reading, and it's by Og Mandino, Ogmandino, The Greatest Miracle in the World. This book, one of the most profound books, because it's short. You can read it in one sitting. You could be on a porcelain throne and read this and get done with your business and also go through it. But this book just, I don't know, this is a great self-image book. If you're ever feeling like down about where you're at in your life, man, read this book, because this book will help you. And this got me on the reading habit. That's why I point this book out. Another impactful book in my life is To Have Power and Confidence in Dealing with People by Les Giblin. This book has all the basics of people skills. Man, this is the book that got Patrick from being a nerdy Cornell engineer to become a great people skill person that cares about, that actually can show people that he cares about them. And so he's incredible, and it was because of books like this. Here's a book that really blew my mind, expanded my mind, was a book called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. This book talks about failure disease, talks about the 3 failure habits. It talks about expanding your belief with what you can accomplish in life. This book's an old book, but man, this book rocks. So get this one. Then the book that is kind of our Bible in the business, so to speak, is a book by Frank Bettger, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling. Man, Frank Bettger, this book, I think this book came out in the 1940s. That's the first, 1947. 1947. And what I love about this, he talks about guys that hang out at the bar on Fridays, right? The insurance guys, the insurance sales guys that sit around thinking that Fridays is their day, they're done. And he talks about using Friday productively. You know, I mean, this book is like the classic for our business, and you'll love this one. So this is one that you need to read early and often. All right. So, and here's the other thing about book reading, is that at a certain point in your life, a book will mean something to you. You're going to pull things out of it that means something to you at that moment in time in your life. And then 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, you pick the book up again, you're going to read it again. And what's interesting is, like, the first time you highlight it with yellow highlights, I promise you, the second time you read it, if you highlight it in pink, you're going to highlight different things. different things that are more meaningful, or that you're ready to learn when you read a book another time. So I'm an advocate of reading books multiple times. It just don't say, well, I read it already. No, you really haven't, because you didn't read it today. Okay, you read it 5 years ago when you were 5 years younger, 5 years less experience, 5 years, you know, now you're 5 years older. Now you're ready for something else out of the same book, right? So book reading is such an important thing. Okay, the next one, number 3, is attend all meetings. Okay, so let's detail the kinds of meetings we're talking about. So let's start first by the one that maybe some of y'all went to see the business, and that's the hotspot meetings. Okay, now the hotspot meetings are some of the most important meetings you could ever attend. Why? Because this gets you around real live people. See, it's hard to build this business, hard to be in this business without getting around other excited people. People that are excited about their future, people that, that know where they're going. By physically getting around them and feeding off their energy. You could be having a bad week, but getting around these people will get you jacked up, and just remembering why you're doing this business. They'll remind you. Okay? And if you're having an awesome week, then you need to go to a hotspot to spread that good feeling around. Because other people may have had a bad week, but it's your opportunity then to give back to them by believing in them and talking about how great your week was. And it's just, we feed off each other, man. We're a team, we're a family, and we lift and raise each other up. That's what it's about. It's an awesome feeling. I like to look at it as like heaven on earth, man, where people care about each other and care that you're doing good, and they want you to do better. And that's what you're going to get at a hotspot meeting. Beyond the training, you're going to get trained on products, sales. Okay. The other thing about hotspot meetings is that it's an active meeting. In other words, don't just go there and just let the agenda run the way the agenda is going to run, because the agenda could be your agenda. You need to go in with your agenda, what you need to get out of it. And you need to raise your hand and ask the manager who's running the hotspot, hey, can we fit in my question on handling objections in the home? And I promise you, that manager will fit that in and help you. And there might be some other people in the crowd that had the same question, but they were too afraid to ask. But since you asked it, you helped some of them out as well, right? So take ownership of the hotspot meetings. Okay, be selfish with it in terms of what you want to get out of it. And then it's a community. So you need to be part of that fellowship community to give back to the other people. Well, that was weird. Okay, heard a little ringing in my head. Anyway, you give in that meeting, and then sometimes you go to the meeting just to get pumped up, right? So you give and you get. It's a great opportunity to get around those folks. Okay, the next opportunity to meet is conference calls. Okay, now some of you may be part-time and are able to attend the live conference call. Some of you are full-time working and you can't be on this conference call. So that's why I record everything, because I want to help all our part-timers have an opportunity to virtually attend a conference call, even though they can't do it live when in real time. They can at least plug in and get the information from it. So if you're part-time and can't attend a live conference call, then get the recording. We have a number of different conference calls. The TWC, the Wednesday call at 12:30, and that's actually a webcast. So if you go on NAAleads.com, actually it's NAA TV Live or something like that. Anyway, we can get you the link, but if you go on that link, you're able to play the previous week's TWC, and that's Andy Albright, President and CEO of Superior Performers NAA, that's going to pump you up and show you the success. Like this last TWC, I was fired up about that because we had, like Ellery, right? We had like half the meeting there. The people there were in Maharkey, some different places in Maharkey, and then you saw the fast track curves just going through the roof. And it just gets you fired up about what we got our hands on, and you get a lot of great information. And so the TWC call, the Wednesday call is the first one you should put. That's 12:30. Right, right now the way it's scheduled, it's 12:30 on Wednesdays till about 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Okay. The next the next conference call is the let's see, Wednesday. So Thursday is this call. Our conference call Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, and all the times I mentioned are East Coast time. And so we got the 10 o'clock call, and we do our agency call. And I record these, and I email blast them out. And that's the other thing. Get on my email blast and stay on my email blast. And be careful of resending my email blast to someone else. It's okay to do that, but make sure you delete the unsubscribe subscribe link at the bottom, because that person may unsubscribe you from our email blast. So you got to delete that if you want to forward those emails on. But get on my email blast and stay on it. Don't unsubscribe, because this is how I communicate. If you get like, how many do I do a week, gang? I don't do that many. Maybe when I'm fired up, maybe there's 5 of them. There's like 2 reminder emails just to remind you about this call and remind you about the builder's call tomorrow, okay? And then maybe there's various other ones, maybe 4 or 5 a week. It's not, I don't try to pummel you, but communication's real important. So I just recommend, man, just stay on my email blast, and also put a rule in your Outlook, or put a rule in your email email program to maybe funnel all my email blasts into a folder or something. At least you have it all contained in one folder. So that's maybe something you can do to manage it, so you're not feeling like, oh my God, all these emails, and then you hit up subscribe. Please don't. Please don't, because my communication with you is so important on these email blasts. So we're talking about conference calls, my conference call. Then this afternoon, Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have the training call, all right, for the product training call. Then tomorrow, Friday, we have the 10 a.m. Eastern time activity call, and the 11 a.m. builders call, my builders call. An activity call is Barry Clarkson. Man, he does a variety of talks on there and has a variety of guests. It's sort of our variety call that you will get so much out of. He's been on fire lately, and he talks about the business of life insurance, the business of managing a life insurance agency. He gets into some details. He talks about mindset, attitude. It's a great call, and he has great guests on it. So I recommend that you get on that Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Then finally, my builders call at 11 a.m. that's oriented toward building the business the way that we built the business, okay? And trying to get my mentality into your head so that you could duplicate it and gain tons of success. All right, so those are our main conference calls. The next one are our major functions. Right now we have 2 major functions. We've got NatCon, this is National Conference, and then LeadCon, that's Leadership Conference. This is usually in July. NatCon is in January. Okay. The next one, January, is January 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is where we bring all our leaders from all over the country, including Hawaii and Alaska, and they all converge into one city, which right now in NatCon 2015 is going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina. And this is where you're going to get everybody who's anybody who's successful and killing it, getting into your head, teaching you everything you need to do to duplicate what they've done. There are no secrets in this business. You're going to get jacked up. You're going to meet your teammates that you've heard on conference calls. You're going to meet all these folks that we've talked about on the leaderboard. They're going to all be there. And you're going to get jacked up, I promise you. And the stuff you learn from there, we're doing breakout sessions, by the way, so we're going to have an afternoon of breakout or morning. I think it's a morning and afternoon of breakout sessions where you can go to specific things that you need, okay, to learn about in our business by the subject matter experts. And there's a variety of things. They're just it's such a cool format, the way we do it now. And then NatCon also has the recognition banquet that's included in the ticket price. So the recognition banquet will recognize all the leaders from the prior year, 2014. All right, so this is an important conference to be at. You need to put in your calendar. Shandell, can you mute that person? Anyway, so NatCon, got to get there. Do everything you can to get there. Book your tickets. We've got the hotels. We'll help you room with somebody. We'll help you get rides to share gas. We're going to do everything we can to get you there because it's one of the most important functions that you need to be at because it will help you, I promise you. Talk about acceleration. It'll accelerate your business 6 months or 8 months in advance. You're going to like time jump mentally to where you ought to be. And man, it's where you got to be. And then leadership conference in July. Again, that's going to be either in Charlotte or Raleigh. I'll be in the North Carolina area, and same kind of thing. A little bit different theme because it's more about how to lead yourself in building, how to lead yourself in selling. We do breakout sessions there as well. Some great talks on stage. Actually, this could even be at the NEA campus like we did last time. So a lot of different places. As we grow, it's going to probably be in maybe bigger cities. But anyway, these are the major functions. And then we have a thing called war parties. And this is where we have some of our top leaders around the country go out and teach you, on a one-day session from 12:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, 12 hours of just full-blown association, teaching. It's like a mini function in a span of about, it's more like 10 hours, all right, at these work parties, and it's jamming, all right? So we do these, I think, twice a year, spring and fall, and then we'll do some adjunct bigger meetings over, in fact, Andy's doing some in different cities, and you're going to hear that. So where you find the information on these meetings are on allianceeventures.com. So that's www.allianceeventures.com, and I'll bring some of these websites up. So that's meetings, and attend all of them. And then number 6, I'll put 6 here, and that's be teachable. Okay, teachable is kind of like being a good listener. Okay, but to be teachable also means that you take the attitude of teaching, of being teachable, which means you're taking notes, you're recording things at live events, you're going over your notes, you're putting what you're learning into action. Okay, that's being teachable. You're putting your stuff that you're learning into action and having an attitude of listening. Okay, so you're not just daydreaming, you're not just on your iPhone or your smartphone texting while someone's teaching. You're taking notes because remember we said, maybe the last builder's call, is that there's 3 levels of learning, okay? There's learning to do, learning to teach, and then number 3 is teach the teachers, okay? You can't do any of that unless you have the right attitude, right, of being teachable, right? Because you're going to learn this stuff to do it, you're going to learn this stuff to teach it, and then you're going to be able to teach the teachers how to teach it. Okay, it's all about duplication in our business, right? So the attitude of being teachable. Now, Alex, how does this multiply my business? When you are becoming a better person, when you're being the best person you can be, the best version that God wills for you to be, okay, the person that He planned and dreams for you to be, by doing these steps of association, what happens is, as you build your business, you start building with people that are doing the same thing. And what these people start doing is they start getting their lives right, they start getting their minds right, getting their attitudes right, getting their dreams intact. They become better. And they're going to credit that to the system, they're going to credit it to you for showing them this business. And when you are getting better and people start plugging into the system getting better, what happens is they become more productive. They become more productive in showing the plan to other people. They become more productive in their sales. They become more productive in their relationships with their families, with their spouse, with their children, with their God. Their spiritual lives are enhanced. And what happens is you start creating people that are chasing a dream and goal to seek fulfillment in their lives. They're not just chasing happiness, they're chasing a dream, a worthwhile dream or goal that then creates fulfillment. And when their eyes on the prize, their eyes on the goal, then all the little crap that Satan may throw their way, that life throws their way to deter them, becomes a little bump on a road because they're not focused on the junk. They're focused on the prize. You know what I mean? They're focused in the future. They're living in the future. They're focused on the race, on finishing the race. So all the little distractions and all the junk that happens that's thrown at you, you react to it in a positive, powerful way, right? And you're totally fulfilled. And when you're doing these 4 things in order to become the best you can be, then people will duplicate you. And when you create that kind of duplication in your group, it blows up. It totally blows up, man. So this is why this whole idea with the video and showing people how our business works, showing them how they can make 6 figures of income on a part-time basis, booking 3, sitting 2, closing 1, booking 3, sitting 2, closing 1, building a key lead organization where they're making $100,000 a year, all with part-timers that are doing the same thing. You see how that folds into this, where people are listening, right? They're being, they attend all meetings, they read, and I'll put this out of order, and they are teachable. When each one of these people do this, it's all over, man. You've won the victory because they just get better and they affect their lives in a positive way, which affects their children in a positive way because their children become like them. Their children, they start imprinting this desire to become better on their kids. And what you're doing, gang, is you're affecting the next generation of leaders. Do you see how the ripple effect goes beyond your lifetime by getting the children right? By getting the parents right, you get the children right. When you get the children right, you get the world right. That's how powerful this business is. And that's why these 4 things will multiply and compound. Okay? So, as always, I'm a little bit over. But anyway, well, gang, thanks for plugging in. I hope that made sense, and I hope you heard that better on our line. Sometimes the line gets kind of jumped up. But anyone got any questions? Am I still on? Oh, okay, good. Sometimes I get worried, man. Did I do all that last 30 minutes for nothing? But anyway. All right, gang. Well, thanks. Let's rock this month of November, man. Get all your production in before Thanksgiving so you can enjoy your Thanksgiving with your families, okay? And, don't think that you can't book appointments right up until Thanksgiving. And don't think you can't book appointments after Thanksgiving. I promise you, you can. Okay, so, all that time can still be productive for you. Don't just throw Thanksgiving week away because you don't have to. Okay, it's all about what's in your head. So don't let that prevent you. All right, gang? So rock and roll, appreciate you. Love you guys, man. Let's kick butt this week. Go out and make those phone calls. Go help those families. And, man, let me know what you think about the video because I'm just so fired up about that video. All right, gang? Rock and roll. Take care. God bless. Welcome.